In this repair video, we're going to be working on an Xbox One S that was sent to us by Leighton from Texas. And Leighton, in his email, he did mention that he attempted to change the HDMI port, but he was not able to do it. And he used some type of dry flux, and that's why we see this white stuff in here. I hope nothing else is damaged on the board. Let's take a look at the area to see what's going on. Hey, this component is still good. Those components are not affected, which is good. And let's take a look at the front of the board. And the surrounding components look good. Let's take a look at the HDMI port itself to see what's wrong with it. Right there. So some damaged pins. Let's go ahead and remove this connector, replace it with a new connector. Let's start by applying flux, then we're going to use low melt solder. We're going to apply low melt solder to all the joints and the front. And let's do the front. Okay, so we just soaked all the pins with low melt solder. Now we should be able to remove this connector with just a little bit of heat. It's up. Only took a few seconds. Now we have to clean the pads. I need to get a bigger wick. Sometimes when we have a lot of low melt solder, it takes a lot of wicking to get rid of all the solder inside the holes. So we're all set and ready for a new connector. But just one thing we need to do first is we still have one pin that has some solder on it. Okay, so that's the new connector. What I'm going to do is add some solder onto the front pins so we can hold the connector in place. Then we're gonna flip the board, solder the legs from the bottom. Then we're gonna come back and finish soldering the front pins. Okay, let's see if they need a connection. Yeah, actually all of them made a connection. Okay, let's flip the board, solder the legs from the back, and then we'll come back to the front and finish off soldering the front pins. Okay, that white stuff that the customer used is like glue. It's not coming off easily.
Hello, do you guys buy used iPhone for parts?
Is it broken? Does it turn on? يلا. Yeah. Okay, so the back is very clean now. Let's go ahead and finish soldering the front. Okay, just a little extra solder we have here. That's it. We have the perfect amount of solder on those pins. Let's check on the pins to make sure they are nice and solid. Pin number 1, 2, very nice. Everything's nice and solid. I always like to double check twice before we mail this back to the customer. Check one more time. Start from here. 1, everything's solid, nice and solid. The job is done and the motherboard is ready to ship out.